Welcome to episode 12 of Walking the Walk. Focused on is sleep. But I feel this time it's been a lot more of a collaboration, and I think that's when coaching works best. Back then, it was at zero. I could have had, I think I've reflected on this before, I could have had the most attractive woman sitting right next to me, and is the relationships in your life and making sure that you don't burn those. The challenge for most people is not losing body fat, losing weight. It's actually, welcome to episode 12 of Walking the Walk. And if you're watching this episode, hopefully you've seen how shoot day went. And we're going to go into some reflections of how that went today. We're going to keep it raw. I'm going to talk you through some of the highs and the lows throughout the process so far. And we're basically just going to reflect on the journey so far leading up to shoot day. So reflecting on a few of the things that I've done differently during this dieting phase than I've done in previous, tough dieting phases. I wanted to touch on health first, and as a sub, sort of heading to that, libido as well. For me, back in when I did the previous, hard dieting phase, I wasn't really considering health. I sort of became the goal. And it was literally just about achieving an aesthetic physique. I didn't think about what was going on underneath the hood, and I didn't really do anything to manage that. Whereas this time around, I've been much more aware of that, and I've put many things in place to ensure that we kept that in as good a place as possible whilst pushing this phase to a degree that I was going to be happy with. A couple of those things included 2 full blood count tests to see where my hormone levels were at throughout the process, one which was more so at the start and one towards the back end of the diet, just to get a baseline of where things were at, and that's really good data that we can now utilize and refer to as we move into this next phase. The other thing that I've really focused on is sleep. Sleep's been absolutely integral during this most current cut. Again, during a previous cut, I hadn't been diagnosed with sleep apnea, which I now have. So, on reflection, I was massively sleep deprived back then, which obviously has huge ramifications to health. You're not going to recover from workouts. Your hormone levels are going to drop further. All of these cascading events are going to happen when your sleep isn't optimized. And because I've now been diagnosed with sleep apnea and I've now got that under control, my sleep is in so much of a better place. Therefore, most other things are in a much better place. And again, I obviously referred to libido this time around, and back then it was at zero. I could have had, I think I've reflected on this before, I could have had the most attractive woman sitting right next to me, and I would prefer to be, eating something. But this time around, I'm happy to say that's been kept at a much better place. And things have been in working order, should we say.
What have you done to improve your sleep?
So I utilise what's known as a CPAP machine now. So this is something that basically allows you just to sleep more effectively. The thing with sleep apnea, which I do believe so many people have probably got and they don't know about it, if you snore heavily and you stop yourself from breathing at night, your partner says this happens of occasion, there's a good chance you may have some symptoms of sleep apnea. If you're going through your day and you feel like you need a nap, you feel tired at the wheel, you've got low energy, some of these are potential symptoms of sleep apnea. So I think guys are quite often scared to go to the doctor and look into their health, and I am pretty sure so many people struggle with this, and I struggled with it for years and didn't know I had it. So I would fully recommend going and get a bit of a checkup if you have got any of these symptoms. Number one being if you stop yourself from sleeping at night, because that's probably the most major one. I noticed a night and day difference when I started utilising this machine. I sleep so much more effectively now. I think my physique is better now. I was able to maintain much more muscle mass during this cut, and I think all of those things point towards sleep being in so much of a better place, and it's we can't really talk about it enough, the whole sleep side of things. So I've spoken about the benefits of coaching. Obviously I'm a coach, and I do believe that if you're a coach, and you've never had coaching, or you don't believe there's going to be any value in a coach potentially giving you that second eye during a process like this, I really couldn't take you seriously. And I can say that I've had a coach not only through this process, but back when I did that original hard dieting phase as well. And there's been a bit of a night and day difference. Not to say that I didn't achieve a great result leading up to the shoot with a previous coach, but I feel this time it's been a lot more of a collaboration. And I think that's when coaching works best, when it is a collaboration. You are a team, and you're not just being dictated to. And I definitely feel like this process has allowed me to have that collaborative relationship with my coach this time around. I've not just been delegated to and said, right, do this. There's been a lot of back and forth to make sure that we're not only striving towards our goals, but we're keeping myself in a really good place as well, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and it's been highly effective. A really important thing to consider and think about during a process which is to a degree a little bit selfish. When you are looking to take your body to the next level, or any goal that requires a lot of your time, your commitment, is the relationships in your life, and making sure that you don't burn those, as you're really doubling down on a goal. So I was much more aware of that this time around. That's not to say that things were perfect, and I definitely did find some things challenging leading up to now. Again, reflecting back to 2018, I was front facing in terms of my workplace, and I was dealing with clients face to face on a daily basis, on the gym floor. And towards the back end of that, in the last 4 to 5 weeks, I got very short, should we say, and that doesn't obviously reflect well for your business. Obviously, personal training is a very front-facing, endeavor. So, again, reflecting on that, and this time around, I've been very much aware of that. And although it has been challenging in these last 3 to 4 weeks, I've very much sort of pushed back against that. And again, if you are looking to take yourself to the next level with either your body composition or any other goal, I would highly recommend just taking a check-in. And whether you do that with in your relationships, whether that's family, friends, a partner, just check in with them every now and again, and let them know, look, I am trying to achieve this at the minute. If you feel like I'm not giving you what you need, or I am being a bit short, or whatever it is, just have that check-in, have that conversation, and make sure that you just staying in the loop with each other. So let's talk priorities next. So within this phase, again, I always like to take myself through a process first and foremost before I then give advice to clients. It's part of the reason I take myself through these endeavours, because we want to walk the walk, right? And that was the whole point of it. Well, a big part of this series was walking the walk. Take myself through the process again, so I can empathise with clients on every single step of the journey. And something which comes up time and again is your priorities and managing your energy with all the things that you've got going on in life. Whether that's the actual endeavour that you're putting yourself through, whether that's maintaining relationships, as we spoke to earlier, whether that's managing your business, all of these things become increasingly more challenging as you get deeper into a fat loss phase, which is why you can only take it to a certain point before you then need to maybe deload or move into a maintenance phase or reverse diet. So I guess again, in terms of some practical tips that we can take away, organisation and preparation is absolutely paramount within this process, making sure that you're delegating time for each one of these tasks. We spoke a little bit about sleep earlier as well, so making sure that you're recovering is going to give you the energy that you need to get through the day, and make sure that you're ticking all your other boxes, because again, it does get more challenging, your energy does get depleted, and if you don't take care of these things, you're not going to be able to maintain them. And again, I can speak to myself, during the last 3 to 4 weeks, work got a lot tougher. My mental clarity, my focus got a lot more challenging, and it was a case of just trying to keep the boxes ticked, making sure that I was moving clients forward and keeping the business going in those last three to 4 weeks. And I heard a really good quote the other day. Where energy goes, energy flows, I think was the saying. So again, if you're putting a lot of energy into one particular endeavor, it makes sense that a lot of your energy is going to go into that, and it's, you know, so important that you're ticking the boxes in other areas to make sure that basically, you know, you haven't got nothing to come back to after you finish the endeavor, basically. So hopefully that was a little bit helpful, I'm not sure.
Other than the shoot itself, what would you say has been your highlight about the whole 12 weeks, or highlights, or favourite moments, let's say?
Wow, that's I've not had a chance to think about that. Highlights.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it goes without saying, obviously the shoot day is like the culmination of 12 weeks of work and actually years of work. But I did say that it's just a check mark, the photo shoot, you know, and I honestly, I've just enjoyed the process. I know it sounds very, very boring, but I've enjoyed the process of taking myself through this really tough endeavour whilst, you know, ticking my other boxes that need to happen in life, you know, like we've alluded to just earlier now. As I say, this is always something that I'm going to take a lot of lessons from that I can then, you know, project onto clients and help my clients out with. So it's literally the process for me, I must say.
Perfect. And the biggest thing you've learned from this whole process, one. I know it's going to be hard to sort of boil it down, but yeah, one thing.
Okay, so some key takeaways throughout this process. Managing your energy is huge, especially when that starts to deplete. As things get tougher, managing your energy and making sure that you're putting time aside for all the important stuff in life outside of your fitness goals has been a really big learning curve, especially in these last 3 to 4 weeks, and it's definitely been a lesson I've taken away from this most recent cut. If you've followed this journey from episode 1 or even watched any of these episodes, I want to thank you for following the journey, because it's been massively beneficial for myself. It's been a great point of accountability. I've learned a lot about my own training, and I've spoken about the benefits that, you know, my clients are going to gain from this process as well. And I hope you guys have managed to take some tools or some inspiration or motivation from it as well. Now moving forward, what we're going to be looking to do is actually document the reverse diet stroke maintenance phase, which is again, you know, such an integral part of this process, and probably more important than the actual dieting phase and the weight loss phase, because just to give you a statistic out there, the challenge for most people is not losing body fat, losing weight. It's actually maintaining that progress once you've achieved it. If you look at the studies out there, it's pretty damning. So I'm really going to be looking to give you guys some tools to utilize yourself to help you manage, you know, the back end of a dieting phase as well as possible, so you can be successful long term and not just make this another sort of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Yo-yo diet. All right. Words eluded me there. Now moving forward, what we're going to be looking to do, guys, as well, is I'm going to be looking to give you lots of content moving forward. Potentially not the archetypal gym stuff. It's going to be a lot more sort of practical tools for you guys to take away, maybe some lifestyle stuff, and some. It's, you know, I'm hoping it's going to be very beneficial for you guys, and you're gonna really enjoy it. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you for the next one.